This is the What It Takes Radio Company, helping you be on the air, connecting with your audience, and maybe making a difference, a real big difference. And we want to do that by introducing you to a new program, How to Be a World-Class Jesus Broadcaster. That's right. What would Jesus do if he were you and he was behind the microphone and on the air? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Stan the Radio Man, and I'm here with a new version of a little bit of a different me, a new podcast, which we call, just as you see it right there, How to Be a World-Class Jesus Broadcaster. And this is for you. That's right, this is for you. And in doing that, I have just given you one of the first rules of radio, which unfortunately most people don't get when they get involved in radio. I said, this is for you. No, it's not for me. It's not for a sponsor. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. If you would like to be a world-class Jesus broadcaster, or if you're even curious as to know what that might be about, or if you're just trying to figure out what this is all about, this is for you. And I'd like to introduce you, first of all, to me very simply, because it's not about me. As I said, my name is Stan. I've been around radio for many, many, many years. International broadcaster, worked with the BBC, Trans World Radio, Radio Netherlands, one of the inventors of podcasting. And all my life, I've been in love with radio, and I've done radio all around the world. And right now, I would like to take this time in my life to help people who want to be involved in the broadcasting of the good news and the story of Jesus, because that's part of who I am. Now, that's not all I've done. I've done a lot of radio in very, very, very different formats. I am not what you would call a Christian broadcaster. I am a broadcaster of many interests and many subjects, and I actually help people through my company called What It Takes Radio to do all kinds of podcasts on all kinds of different things. But this is one of my real callings in life, and so here goes. It's an experiment. We'll see how it works, if it's helpful and useful for you. Because as I said, the first rule of radio is to understand that if you want to be good at this, it's not about you, it's about you if you are a listener or a viewer. And so we'll go from there. Now, a second rule of radio is to remember this. They're not listening to you. Stop them. That's right. They're not listening to you. Stop them. You see, they're doing something else. They're paying attention to something else. They're hearing some other noise or some other program or something else. And one of the first things you have to learn how to do is to get their attention, to walk into their life, not in order to shock them or to scare them or to do anything that is harmful to them, but you are in the business of actually getting them to pay attention, to do something. They really don't have any interest in doing something new, but perhaps this will help them. And so maybe they'd like to see if this new could help them. So that's why I made this subject rather unusual. Most people don't think about Jesus as a broadcaster. And then with the help of a good friend, look at that logo. I don't think anybody has really taken time to ever picture Jesus in more of a classic mode, yet to give him the headphones and the microphone and say, Jesus, a broadcaster. What's that about? What would that be like? What are you going to talk about? Well, here we go. got past the second rule of radio. It's you've got to stop them from doing something else and start doing something that attracts them, that they find interesting. Because there's no rule that says they have to listen to you and your radio program. The third thing you're going to have to learn about radio is very simply that it's not about talking to everybody. It's actually about being so focused that you are talking to one person. That's right. One person who you have in mind that's important to you. Maybe, as someone has said, radio is actually just kind of a conversation with a good friend. It's not all of you out there in radio land or all around the world. It's actually a conversation with somebody who you're building a relationship with, that you want to have a friendly conversation. Now, it could go to the edgy, it could be challenging, it could be, and it must be entertaining, but in effect, it's about you talking to one person. And even though I've had the opportunity many times to talk to people in radio, and where I had, I'm sure, over 1 million listeners, I always had the one in mind, the one person. So that's rule number 3. By the way, oftentimes rules get broken, but we still have radio rules. Now, here's the other thing. You have to remember that radio is a blind person talking to a blind person. Yes. Well, you say, maybe not really, but it could be. But that's exactly the situation it is. You can't see me. Now, you can see me now because this is a podcast video, so you can see me. But if you are in real audio radio, it's a blind person talking to another blind person. So that changes everything. Now here I can, I can use my facial expression, and I can do all kinds of other things that speaking, performing, doing video, I can do to perhaps enhance the presentation, make it more interesting, and something like that. Obviously, as I oftentimes say, though, I have a face made for radio. It probably is better that they just hear my voice rather than see my face. There we go. However, the important thing is to remember that. And what I oftentimes find that as people begin to get involved in radio, they forget that it is truly, you're talking to someone you can't see, and someone that is listening can't see you. Now, think about all of the changes that might bring into how you talk and how you speak and how you communicate. Because all of that talk about, body language and the smile and all the things you've been taught about giving a good speech or making a good presentation, in radio, they can't see you. All they can do is hear you. Now, what you will discover is that can be very, very powerful if you learn how to understand that the ability to be very good at communicating blindly with another person is good work. All right, here's the deal. I have for many years, and I still am, enjoying the opportunity to teach people all over the world about how to be on the radio, how to be a world-class broadcast podcaster. That's the program I do. We're going to broadcast it all around the world. How to be an entrepreneur We have all kinds of programs. I love teaching people how to be on the radio, but this is going to be special because I'm going to assume that you have a special desire to be on the radio and maybe be on the radio, television, and the visual video media, but you want to do it because you want to communicate the wisdom, insight, and truth about Jesus, and you want to tell his story. So how can you do that? Well, I'm going to help you be really good at that. I think I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing it for many, 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 many years, and I think I can help you. And please keep in mind, world class is not meant to be a boast. It's not necessarily a description of me as a radio broadcaster, but it certainly is an aspiration. You see, every time I get in front of the microphone and I'm talking to you, I want to be really good at what I do. I believe you are one of the most important persons in the world. I'm going to treat you as if you were. And so I want to be good. World class means you are striving for excellence. You're going to try and be at your very best. You really are seeking to be good at what you do. There's a lot of people who aren't very good at radio and aren't very good at podcasting. They just do it. You want to be good, world class. World class also means that you care. We care. That's the mark of a world class person. They care about other people, and we care about you. We want you to care about your audience. We want you to think highly of them. And you don't lie to them, and you don't try and manipulate them, and you don't try and cheat them, and you don't try to influence them to do bad things or things that are not good or healthy for them. You care. Also, we connect. It's not just about information or entertainment. It's about building what could be a friendship. We connect. I oftentimes would have people who, when I was on the radio, they didn't see me, but they may have seen pictures of me because of the radio station having posters and things like that. And I would be walking down in a community, and people would come up and start talking to me. Well, what happened was they had listened to me on the radio, and they assumed that we were friends. And they came up and started talking to me. You're my friend. And I would have to say, I don't know if I know you. They say, oh, I listened to you on the radio. Well, you see, that meant that I had connected with them in some way. It also means that we cross borders, boundaries. We are willing to cross over and help and engage people from different places, different spaces, different beliefs, different anything. We are willing to cross over to where they are, to be sympathetic and empathetic to their world. We're not asking them to come to our world. We're asking them to give us permission to come into your world. So that's just a brief idea of what it might mean to be a world class. But here's where we want to go just for today. I want you to think about this because this is what I'm trying to do. I know all about broadcasting, and I've spent years studying about how Jesus was such a world-class communicator. He's brilliant. At his time, he was one of the best. Think about what he achieved. But then I ask myself the question, uh, what if he wasn't in, Jerusalem or in Israel, over 2,000 years ago? What if he were here right now? Well, he's the same guy. He's got the same powerful message, the same love for people, But he has an opportunity which he didn't have back in his time and his place. He could be on the radio. He could be on the television. He could do a podcast. What would he do? Would he even take that opportunity? I'd like to believe that he might, but what I'm seeking to do is perhaps reflect upon how he might do his own radio show. If Jesus broadcaster was a disc jockey like me, that's all I really am, kind of an overeducated disc jockey. What would he do if he had the opportunity to be on the radio? And by the way, what would he say to you and me about how he wants you to tell his story? He said, I want you, when you do your radio program, to do it the way I would do it. Model me, speak like me, be the kind of broadcaster like me. That's what he told his followers, be like me, tell my stories, watch what I do, hear what I say, see what I'm like, and then do what I do. Well, I'm even tempted at some time to actually try and do it as if I were Jesus himself. I know I'm not going to put on a wig or something like that and try and pretend that I resemble the man. But there's a part of me, and it may just be an experiment where in our little coaching sessions, I will perhaps speak as if I were trying to very much imitate the voice and the style, and certainly teach the things that Jesus would teach if he were teaching you to join him on the radio and be one of his radio performers, one of his radio pastors, one of his radio preachers. How would he want you to be like him? Where he would say, be like me. What would it be like to be a world-class Jesus broadcaster? Well, I think he would say, well, it's about 18 minutes now, and 20 minutes is long enough for a radio show. So it's time to end. And so that's the deal. We're done for today. I'm hoping that we can start to be a part of your life and your business and your work and perhaps your ministry. So here we go. We're starting. How to be a world-class Jesus broadcaster. I'm Stan. I'm the radio man. I'm here to try and help you do just that. I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll tell others about this. I hope you'll join a whole bunch of us together so that we can truly be world-class together. Be the best. The world will listen to us because we're good at what we do. We're good at our art. We're good at our career. We're good at our mission. We are one of the best when it comes to being behind the microphone and telling the story to others so they'll listen, pay attention, enjoy, and maybe even do something. Okay, you can start by reaching out to me at Stan Hustad. Just go there right now. StanHustad, and we'll do at gmail.com. I have a number of them, just like you, but make it simple. StanHustad at gmail.com. And we're going to start to see if we can do a regular weekly program to help you be a world-class Jesus broadcaster. I look forward to that. I hope you'll join me in that endeavor. And together, we'll do things together. And I will be able to provide services for you. Most of them will be free. Some of them will require a fee because a workman, a helper, is worthy of their hire. And as someone said, when Jesus did handiwork, I'm sure when he built a bench or fixed a roof, he got paid for it because he was also not only a broadcaster in his own way, but he was also an entrepreneur. We forget that. He was a businessman, owned his own business, and then started a new business and turned it into a world-class company in 3 years. How did he do that? Well, that's another story. Hey, best and blessings to you. Always close with a benediction. Always leave them, hopefully wanting more, and hopefully knowing that you cared about them and you are grateful for their time and that you want all the best for them. And that's what I do, and that's what I wish for you. Till next time, I'm Stan the Radio Man, hoping to help you be a world-class Jesus broadcaster. Next time, all the best, and bye for now.